Anyway, I'm Rod,
And I'm Dale,
and we just got out of Solo, a Star Wars story.
and it was a good movie. I liked it.
You enjoyed it?
I enjoyed it. It was a good summer science fiction flick. That's the way I looked at it.
And that's how Dale will look at these movies is, was it a good movie by itself? Was it a good sci-fi movie? Well, I'm going to break down the Star Wars universe for you in this film. So, Dale, do you have something you want to add before I get going?
You know what? Now, I tell you what, I went in there thinking, is this a Star Wars? Let me take a step back. It was not a good Star Wars movie. It was a good movie, but I didn't really think of it as part of the Star Wars universe.
It didn't feel like Star Wars?
It didn't feel like Star Wars to me.
Why not?
It really didn't. You know what? I think maybe because I've already seen the best and the greatest, and nothing's really going to match the original. And this one is obviously it's an offshoot. It's what it's supposed to be. But I felt like I was watching a good science fiction movie, but I did not feel like I was watching a good Star Wars movie.
Well, is it because the actor didn't remind you of Han Solo?
It really didn't. No.
No, he didn't, did he?
No.
Well, some of his mannerisms were good. This film is getting a lot of criticism, and it didn't do well at the box office. And everybody's scrambling. Everybody's got their theories as to why this would be. But I'm one of those people who just absolutely was completely turned off by The Last Jedi.
Yeah.
And I understand a lot of the fans are boycotting this film because of The Last Jedi, because of what Disney Lucasfilm is doing to the Star Wars franchise and how they've treated the traditional characters. And so I think a lot of it has to do with the anger over the prior film, The Last Jedi. But see, what we have here is we have two different films going on, it's almost like two different companies. You've got the traditional The Last Jedi, and then the one before that, The Force Awakens, which are the primary new trilogy.
Yes.
And then you've got these offshoot films that are prequels. Do you remember Rogue One?
Oh yeah, and I liked Rogue One, and actually I think this one was a little bit better than Rogue One.
And Rogue One was a good Star Wars film, I thought.
Yeah, now it did fit the universe.
And I thought this one fit the universe too. These are both good Star Wars films, but Force Awakens and not Return of the Jedi, but The Last Jedi were both very bad. And The Last Jedi really, really bad because of the way they treated Luke Skywalker's character.
Yeah.
And so
I agree.
I'm just really sad right now because this was actually a good movie, and I was going to be super critical of it. I was going to use this time to just bash Disney Star Wars. But I have to evaluate the film as it stands on its own, and on its own, Solo: A Star Wars Story is actually a good movie.
It started out with some good action scenes. The train, or if you could call that a train, was a great scene. A lot of action in that.
You remember Firefly?
Yes, are you kidding? Firefly is the best.
Exactly. We all know Firefly was an incredible series, and it reminded me a little bit of The Train Job. I kind of think they took some influence off of Firefly's The Train Job episode for that. But we won't get into that now because of the spoilers. But it's sad because this film is suffering from the backlash of The Last Jedi. That's what I think. And I think this just shows how mad the fans are at The Last Jedi and the treatment of Luke Skywalker's character, that they are going to let this film bomb when actually it's just as good, if not better, than Rogue One.
It is a good film.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if you don't go in there, mad about Star Wars, mad about them changing the universe, or who's directing it, or who's, the fact that Disney owns it now, it is a great movie. If this movie had come out 10 years ago, it would be an amazing blockbuster on itself. But I think
I'd have to agree. If it had came out before The Last Jedi, it probably would have been.
That's true.
But when Avengers came out, I saw it immediately at midnight showing. Then I saw it again over the weekend with my kids, and then I saw it again for our review. And we're still trying to figure out how to get a 15-minute review up on YouTube. We're new to this, so that's why our Avengers film isn't up there right now, our review. But that's how I treat a movie I'm really excited about. Now, with Star Wars, Solo: A Star Wars Story, I did not hit the midnight movie. I did not hit it over the weekend. I only watched it this one time because I am one of those fans that is really mad about The Last Jedi. But I gave it a chance, and I got to say on its own, it was a great movie.
Yeah, and for, we agree because a lot of times that, we're opposites on movie, but I just went in thinking it was a great movie all the way through. I mean, I've seen some more amazing movies. I mean, there's a lot lined up for this summer, and we've seen a lot of great ones. Last week we did Deadpool, which, came out of that one just, laughing still because it was so funny. This was just a good action science fiction movie. I think it'll be around for a long time. I can't wait. I'd like to see it again.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. I'd have to agree. So you want to break down a few spoilers of the film?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay, so now we're going to talk about a few things that were mentioned in the film that you don't want to hear this if you haven't seen it yet. So if you're on the fence about this movie and maybe you're boycotting it, you've got to watch it eventually because it is actually in my opinion, a good Star Wars movie. And as a sci-fi fan, you don't want to miss it either.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, most people who are going to see a Star Wars movie are going to see it because they enjoy good science fiction, and this was in itself a good science fiction movie. Everything else aside, I thought it was a good action flick.
Right. So spoilers ahead. Here we go. Did you recognize, let's just jump right to the end, did you recognize the red guy that took his cape off?
The Maul.
Darth Maul, that's right. Okay,
yeah.
So Darth Maul makes an appearance at the end of this movie.
I was still trying to figure out the connection between the woman and him, though. I mean...
well, she worked for that Crimson Dawn, is that what it was called?
Yes, Crimson Dawn. Yes.
I think that's his syndicate. I think he's in charge of that.
Yeah, and that does make sense.
Now, I don't know if you remember, but he's supposed to be dead. He got cut in half by Obi-Wan Kenobi in the original...
I thought that was after this movie. When I saw that, I thought, oh, he's the one that will be.
No, that's an older Darth Maul. He died at the hands of Obi-Wan Kenobi
Okay.
in episode 1, which was the first prequel.
Oh, okay. See, again, I don't follow all the little nuances.
They revived him in a cartoon. In a cartoon series, he was revived.
That doesn't count.
Well, Disney has decided it does because, that was one of the things that was wrong with the first prequel is that Darth Maul was an amazing character, and they just killed him off at the end of the first movie. Yeah. So they're correcting an error here. They're giving him another chance. They're going to say he didn't die from that wound, and it's all been explained in the cartoon series anyway. Wow. So that's a smart move. Disney's making a smart move here by bringing back Darth Maul, who was an excellent character.
Isn't that what we're used to? Just about in every movie we've seen nowadays, it seems like they can kill off everybody, but next movie it's like, okay, do over.
Yeah, well, it's like with the comics, that's how the comics work. But I think that's a good move for them. I loved Lando in this movie. Did you catch any references with Lando and everything?
Well, I thought that he was still played like a good young Lando would have been.
Right.
And I thought it was a little bit weird with him and the robot kind of deal.
Right, let me touch on that real quick, okay? A lot of people are mad about the robot thing. They're like, oh my goodness, the robot rights, what is this? Is this some Disney crazy? And I was thinking that too when I walked in there because I had seen the chatter on this, and I was thinking, yeah, I'm going to rip that up when we get to this review. Actually,
it was not.
Actually, they throw a line in there that just set me back in my seat because I thought, wait a minute. In the original Star Wars, the very first one that George Lucas made, they go into that cantina with the old Obi-Wan and they meet up with Han Solo because they have to try to find a ship, and that's where they meet Han Solo. As soon as they walk in, I think 3PO walked in with them.
Yeah, we don't serve their kind.
That's right. That bartender said, we don't serve their kind. And all of a sudden I realized they've set the basis for why that bartender would feel that way. There was an uprising. And the movie actually, I thought, okay, flame me in the comments if you want on this, but I thought the movie handled it okay. Yeah. I really did, because the uprising with the droids would totally explain why the bartender was like, we don't serve that kind. All of a sudden, that line made sense, and I thought it was brilliant.
You know what? And see, and you pick up on all those little nuances, as I call it. And me, I just thought, oh, good movie, lots of shoot-ups, but it's sometimes, you can overthink a movie, and I think this movie, whoever's making these and writing them, they obviously know their stuff, and they're tying into all the different everything from
whoever's doing Rogue One in this movie. Yes. Yeah. Whoever's doing the new trilogy, no. Those are the people that are screwing everything up. But Lando said another thing that was really funny, and I want to hit on this real quick. He said that mining colonies are the worst.
Yeah.
Do you remember when he said that?
Yes, I do.
That's what Cloud City is.
Yeah.
He ended up running a mining colony in his later days, which that made that funny. So they had some good little throw-ins with Lando, and I liked that. I liked the fact that he won the first card game, because we all thought Han was going to win, because that's the legacy, is that he won it.
Yeah.
But he had to win it again.
They left it at the last minute for him to win it.
I liked how Han got the upper hand on him, and you know how he got the upper hand on him? He
hugged
grabbed him real hard.
He hugged him.
And
And
that's what Lando does in Empire Strikes Back when they meet up again. He grabs him real hard like that.
Yeah.
And
that's true. That was good.
They really had to be careful here, because they were cutting into Empire Strikes Back territory, which is a major part of the original lore, you know.
Yeah, but it's the same people, 30, 50, well, say 30 years earlier, or maybe more like 10 or 15 probably.
Maybe more like 10 years earlier.
Yeah, 10 years earlier, I guess, really.
But they handled it well, I thought. I thought this movie was okay as far as handling it. It was not okay the way they handled Luke Skywalker's character. I don't think it was okay the seemingly meaningless way they killed Han Solo in The Force Awakens. I'm not okay with that either. I'm not okay with Mary Poppins, Princess Leia, flying around in space after being blown out in space. I'm not okay with any of that. But I'm okay with Rogue One, and I'm okay with this movie. And so that's what I've got, and I don't really... Did you want to add something on the spoilers that you noticed?
No, you know what? I really didn't see anything that was just like blew me out of my seat. That was amazing. You know, I don't think of anything in terms of spoilers. I just thought it was a good movie.
I thought they played the cat and mouse game between all the smugglers really well.
Yeah,
that was cool.
Good.
That kind of showed how Han Solo trusted no one by the time he ran into Luke and the old man Obi-Wan.
And that's true, you know. And I think all in all, like I say, a good, enjoyable movie. Even if you went in thinking that it wasn't going to be a great movie, or was hoping that it was not going to be a great movie, and we went into a theater that was really pretty empty for
the day. Yeah, it was. There was like maybe 12 people that watched this film with us on a weekday, but it just makes me sad, because I liked the movie, and I don't. I like where they're going with this movie too, with the Darth Maul character and everything, and I wonder if they're just going to drop it all now because the movie didn't do that well, which is sad, because it's not that they didn't do it well, it's that people are so mad about The Last Jedi. That is why this movie is not doing well. If you don't agree with me, you know, leave a reason why you think the movie is doing bad in the comments, but I believe that it's all backlash from the last one.
And that's possible. And I think that, you know what, we go to movies to get away. I don't think we should be going to movies or not going to movies because of what we think about the last movie. You go to a movie, you're taken away for a couple hours, you enjoy it, you walk away a little happier.
Maybe.
That's the way I think.
But you don't make a movie like The Last Jedi, so we're going to have to agree to disagree on that one. And that is why I've only seen Solo, A Star Wars Story, once, as opposed to like 3 or 4 times, because I was pretty much on the boycott train until we had to watch it to do this review.
Yeah, and I was looking at I really wasn't anticipating one thing one way or the other. I just liked it. It was a good movie.
Yeah. So it's worth seeing, guys. It's a Star Wars movie too. It is a good movie.
Yep. And for me, I think I'll see it more than once too.
I don't know if I'm gonna. I don't know. I'm so torn right now. You know, I like to say see it more than once at the end of the film, but I am just torn right now about the franchise. I want these guys to make more movies. I do not want the new trilogy to continue. I think they need to scrap that. That's how I think Disney should fix things.
Yeah, but a good action movie, all in all.
Right. So thanks for tuning in, guys. We'll see you next week.